Well, welcome. This should be welcome back because this is Chapter 6, 6.2 assignment, but this is a Part 2 video. It's just a little bit too much to put it all in one video and get it uploaded. So just to bring you up to speed, if you have not seen the first video, of course you want to see it. But at this point right now, we've got a program that some of it is fully operational. We have a splash screen that pops up. We get a main form, and on that form, we can exit. And the guts of the program is going to occur in here, job information, which is our Form 1, where we can put in a customer name, a job number, a parts charge. We can put in our labor hours, and we can hit calculate. And our parts charge is here, our labor is there. We have a sales tax, which is only taxing the parts. We have a subtotal plus our tax, we have a grand total. And we can clear that and continue to enter more information. So as we exit that, come back to here, what we don't have done yet is this summary information. This form should load, and there's a couple things that need to happen here. One, this is not a place where we really want the user to be able to enter information, so we're picking it up right from there. And two, this is where we would have, as indicated, our 4 grand totals. And so we need to keep those, we need to keep track of those each and every time we go to this job information and enter some new data here. All of these things need to be added into totals for us. Well, most of those do. The subtotal does not. That's not one that we're responsible for. So let's pick it up. There's a couple ways this can be done, but I'm going to show you probably the way that would work in most scenarios for you. So we will pick it up there. I'm going to jump to our Form 3 design, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make these text boxes that we've already put in place. You, by the way, can see those TXT parts, TXT labor, TXT tax, and TXT total. Those text boxes properly named, but again, the user shouldn't be able to enter anything in there. So I'm going to turn their read-only property into true. And now when we run, if you're like me, I just like to check every step of the way. Now when we run, if we go directly to summary, we can see if there was data in here, I can click in there, but right now I'm trying to type, I can't. So that will take care of that. Now, we're going to introduce what are called global variables to you. As we run this program, the splash screen is going to be gone in a moment. This screen, however, as we go to job information, remains open. So my Form 1 remains open. When I clear here, I go to process, summary, Form 1 is going to remain open, and the program's not going to stop until I close Form 1. So that is where I wanted to mention on this Form 1, if you're going to use variables that are called global variables, and global variables are beyond persistent variables. Persistent variables live for the duration of the form being open. Global variables live for the duration of the form being open, but may also be passed on to other forms. Just like, you know, hey, our forms can now be friends with one another. We can communicate back and forth between our two forms. So I'm going to go into the summary form right now, and all we've done so far is have it load the form information. We can exit it, job information to form information, or go into summary. Let me go back. Yeah, oh, here it is. This is our summary. So we go into summary and we show the summary. But we're going to want to be able to pass information on here, and we're going to want to be able to gather information as we're doing calculations on this page. But the key is this Form 1 is always going to be open. So here's where I'm going to dimension my friend variables. So I'm going to go friend. Let's call it total parts. Let's do proper naming. Total parts charge, decimal, comma. Total labor charge, decimal, We need the total tax, so total tax decimal, and we need the grand total charge decimal as decimals. Now, dimensioning those here again, really important you understand that. If I just did public here instead of friend, they would be good for the duration of this program or this form. But now these can be accessed anywhere else. And where do we want to access them? We want to access them while we're creating values in here to add into our totals. So we have a total parts charge. Let's go into our calculator button right now and take a look at that. So right here is where I'm calculating our total parts charge. In fact, it's really not even being calculated, it's actually being just entered on the form. But here's where I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to type form1 dot. And in form1 dot, I've got a total parts charge decimal that I now have access to. If it wasn't dimensioned as a friend, I would not have access to it. And I'm going to go equals or plus equals our new parts charge decimal. And now we should have access to that when we go to our summary form. Again, this is just our job information where we're making calculations. Now, how about this? Total labor. Oh, I got to go form 1. Form 1 dot total labor charge decimal plus equals this new labor charge that we just calculated right here. We're going to add that into that variable. And what do we have? Subtotal. We don't have to keep track of that, but we do need to keep track of our total tax. So form 1 access variable total tax decimal plus equals, we just calculated our tax right here. Control C, Control V. And this is our total charge from, again, that would be the value that's going right in here. That needs to be added into our grand total. So form 1 dot grand total plus equals this. Now, I probably understate the value of remarks, but I'm just going to throw some remarks in here. Right here, all of these that we've just calculated, that form 1 total parts, all of those are just going to be totals for our summary page. And they're going to be accessed when we go to our summary page. So I'm just going to put that comment. Let's do this one more time. Total labor, yep. Text subtotal, don't need that one, but this one is. And this form 1 is. So those are things, you don't have to have those remarks there, but I should probably put more remarks than I actually do. Okay, now our form 3, these values need to be populated with the values that are totals, our friend variables that we've just been totaling things up on. Those values, let's go to form 2 design, or form 1, excuse me. In form 1, we access our summary page right here. And right now, all we're doing is form summary showing it. But I'm going to now go form, what do we call it? Form 3. What's our form summary? Sorry, got to get back here just a minute. Form 3. This is FRM summary. Should have known that. So I'm going to go back to where I was. FRM summary dot txt. Which one we want to put in first? Let's go parts first. Parts dot text equals our form 1 friend variable total parts form 1 dot total parts charge decimal. It's not there. Oh, because we're on form 1 right now. Silly. So form summary just equals total parts decimal charge. I'm on form 1, so I don't have to call for form 1. I could have actually done me dot there, I believe. Okay, then form summary dot, let's go with total labor dot txt. If you recall, I have that on there. Txt labor dot text equals total labor decimal form summary dot txt. What else do we have here? Dot txt tax dot text equals our total tax decimal, and form summary dot txt, this is our grand total dot text equals what we call it up there above, equals grand total. And now, this might be where I normally run it, but as you might be aware right now, there's probably something else I want to add to this. Think of it, if you think of it loudly, maybe I can hear that you're thinking of it. These are all dollar amounts we're putting in those text boxes. So I'm going to go dot toString currency. I'm going to put those things in as currencies. Just steal from myself here. And could that, so every time I hit this, go to the summary, we're going to show the summary form, and we're going to tell those text boxes to be those friend variables that are being, they're set to the summary form here, but they're being created in here. So those things are being passed around between 3 different forms. Why did we put it in, why did we dimension them, why did we friend them in here? Because that's the form that's always open. Okay, let's see how we do. So let's populate value with a couple of jobs here. So bill, job number 1, charge for parts 150, labor, just 2 hours of labor. Let's calculate that. Let's clear that. And let's just check right now. Let's go process summary, and there's those values that were in there. Now, if I go back to job information now and add another job, I'm going to add a big one here so we can notice the difference. Let's go Tammy, job number 2, charge for parts 1,000, labor hours 10. Tammy's going to get a big bill here. But not so uncommon in the auto industry. And click OK on that. This form's still open, so those values have already been added in. And now I go process summary, and you can see that this isn't 1,000. These were added in and cumulative along the way. So we could put an exit button on here. It would be nice. Let's go one more time. Process job information. Job number 3. Let's just go $2. So let's make it real obvious here. Let's go $5,000 just so we see that. I mean, that's a lot of parts. That's a new engine. And 12 hours. Just so we see that we're going to have a big bearing on our summary. And you can enter more information now. You don't have to leave here to enter more. It's adding in. Every time I hit this calculate button, the totals are going up, but we'll go ahead and OK, process, summary, got it. You can see we've had a big impact on that total parts because we just added in 5,000. And let's see, have we handled the help button yet? Nope. The only thing I'm going to do with the help button, you could have a new form. I need to go back to form 1, design. The only thing we're going to do with the help button, double click it. If the help button's clicked, I'm just going to go message box. You guys do your message boxes a little bit different perhaps as the book did. I'm just going to go program created by PSN, and I'm not even going to put a date there. And that's all that we really need to get the point across. And then I'm going to go, what's the name? Is this Pat's? I think it's Pat's. It doesn't want that there. I'm just going to leave it at that spot for right now rather than fight that. So now we run it. We get our splash screen. We get our main screen. There's help. It was just a help about. I have nothing for the about when I click it. Let's see. But I think you get the gist of that. We could put a number of different items down there. Everything is there that we need, and that should conclude you on 6.2. Make certain you're asking questions if you don't have a full grip on what's going on with these friend variables. But very, very useful for us when we have a program that's integrated over a number of forms. As always, ask questions. That's what we're here for. Thanks for watching.